and welcome to another episode of the Verde Valley Experience. Thank you so much for joining us today. Really do appreciate it. If you miss any part of our program today, you can check us out on verdevalleytv.com, also on our Facebook page and on YouTube. So if you want to watch something again, you can go back anytime. You miss some information, just go to verdevalleytv.com and you can check it out anytime you want. So that's a great thing. I love technology. Great show for us today. All kinds of wonderful guests, as per usual. Lots of things popping now that we're coming into spring. Our first guests today are Jay Murphy, a volunteer from the Verde Valley Humane Society, along with Krista. The Verde Valley Humane Society puts smiles on furry faces as well as maybe not so furry human faces by finding forever homes for hundreds of homeless pets each year. Wonderful organization. Jay and Krista are here to fill us in on what goes on at the VVHS and how the adoption process works and the many ways that you can support our local shelter by getting involved. Our next guests will be Chris Jensen and Bob Rockroth, the Verde River Nature Organization board members. VRVNO is a nonprofit organization that is raising awareness for our natural resources by providing recreation, education, and nature tourism opportunities supporting the stewardship of the Verde River Valley. Chris and Bob will be in to talk about the 5th annual Verde River Runoff, and they are so excited. This is such a fun event. They cannot contain their enthusiasm. The Verde River Runoff is a 5 to 10 mile race on a stretch of the most beautiful desert river in Camp Verde, and it's organized by the Verde River Valley Nature Organization. The race and fun run is a competitive event as well as a family-friendly celebration of nature and boating during the peak season for the river running in the Verde Valley. And in conjunction with the Verde River Runoff is the Spring Heritage Pecan and Wine Festival. Nikki Miller from Camp Verde Promotions will be in the studio to give us all the details surrounding the 16th annual Spring Heritage Pecan and Wine Festival that's happening March 18th and 19th. Come taste the region's award-winning wines and celebrate the rich agricultural history as well as the rich ancient cultural history and heritage of Arizona's Verde Valley. With wine tastings from more than a dozen premier wineries and 60+ food and craft vendors, it is sure to be a good time. Then we'll go on location with Arizona Flywheeler Antique Engine and Tractor Club members Gary Covert and Jack Castamore. The Arizona Flywheelers Club preserves history of antique farm equipment and tractors by salvaging, repairing, and displaying varieties of gasoline, diesel, steam, and Stirling engines. And with the 33rd annual Flywheelers Show happening on March 17th and 18th at the Cottonwood Fairgrounds, it was a great time to meet with these fine gentlemen and for a little discussion and some demonstrations too. Love that. And we'll finish out our show today with a live performance from musician Jim French. Jim draws his inspiration for his unique style of music and songwriting from his deep connection to Eastern philosophies, and he combines all of that with his love of classic rock, and it works out really well. He combines elegant folk guitar with mellow rock sounds, and he's soothing and inspirational and lots of fun. You'll hear him here live in just a bit, so stick around. Now we'll go ahead and get started with our first guests. We have Jay Murphy and Krista. Thank you both very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Jay, how long have you been a volunteer at the Verde Valley Humane Society?
I've been there for 6.5 years.
6.5 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time. I bet you've seen a lot of little furry lives touched.
Quite a few of them. Yeah, the challenge is not to bring them all home with you.
See, that's why, yep, I totally get that. Every single one of them would come home with me. This one right in the truck, you know, going home with me. And primarily, what do you do there at the Humane Society?
Well, the Society obviously takes in the animals from the Verde Valley. We have contracts with the various cities and Yavapai County. And we take in, I think we took in about 860 dogs, or 860 animals last year.
Wow.
Came through the doors, and we got about 260 dogs, or cats, and 311 dogs, and
wow.
The rest of them, about 300 returned to owner. So
all right.
We did a really good job getting them all. We had one ferret that we adopted out.
One ferret. Wow, you guys got it all covered.
We've had a pig and a ferret. Every once in a while we get something, a snake, and
fun. Oh, wow.
So
that's very cool.
Yeah. So anyway, that's basically what we do, and you know the volunteers do a number of different jobs there, anywhere from walking the dogs to bathing the dogs to socializing them to training them. And they all get out every day. They aren't locked in their cages all day without any exercise. So they get out. We've got a new exercise yard there now that they can play around, run and play around in, if we get one that's cooperative, we're even trying to teach it some agility skills and things like that.
Nice.
So
That's tremendously popular.
yeah.
Well, that is a more than full-time job then,
right,
taking
right.
care. And I can see it's working beautifully. Krista is in the peak of health. She is absolutely gorgeous. Can you tell us a little bit about her?
Yeah, Krista came to us back in August. She's been there a long time. She was a stray. She's a female, probably about 2 or 3 years old. And we're guessing a little bit of a shepherd mix in her. Never quite know what you're getting there.
That's true.
But she's a real good girl. It's difficult sometimes for dogs that don't have unique characteristics. People come to look at the dogs, and of course, if you have a purebred there, they all want the purebred. And
Sure.
if you got one that's got beautiful coloring to it, they want that. And sometimes little brown girls like this don't get a lot of attention when people come in there, but they're still wonderful animals. They're really great and friendly.
Oh, yeah. She's got the most beautiful face.
Yeah, she's
And those
pretty good.
ears, how can you not love those ears? Now talk us through the adoption process. How does it work? Somebody says, I'm ready for a dog, I'm ready for a cat. What happens next?
Well, basically, they'll come into the shelter and they want to look at the animals. And what I do is, if I'm working the adoptions, I first ask them, what is it you're looking for? And they kind of tell me. A lot of them will say, well, I know it when I'll see it. That makes it a little bit more difficult on you.
Yes.
And I said, then I'll follow up and say, well, tell me what the normal day for this animal is going to be. What kind of a life is it going to have with you as an adopter? And that helps me kind of guide them toward the dogs that are more appropriate for them. Now, they can certainly take anyone they want, but it behooves both us and the potential adopters to put the right dog in the right home. So with that, we'll get the dog out for them. They'll spend a little bit of time with the animal. If they have another animal at home that they want to mix it with it, we ask them to bring that animal by so that we're sure that they're going to get along well with each other. And from that point on, it's just filling out the application forms, and if they live in an apartment or something, we will call a landlord to be sure it's okay with the landlord for the animal to come into the home.
Sure.
And that's basically it. We just try to match the right animal with the right person.
Absolutely, yeah. It's not a hard process, but it's an important process. You want to make
Right.
sure that everyone gets along well, and that, yeah, if you're going to be sitting at home all day, or if you're like me and you're never home all day and you're running, you have to, adjust that for the animal.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, if you're not ready to support the Verde Valley Humane Society by way of adopting an animal, how are the other ways that we can support you? If, say, our house is full, what else can we do for you?
Well, there's always the volunteer opportunities. Like I said, we always need volunteers to do all those tasks. They always accept donations for it. If there's a business in town that wants to be supportive of it and wants to host an event, we'll organize something to do events. We've got a couple places right now that we do an annual or a monthly event with. The Old Town Bar has every first Thursday. We bring some dogs down there. Pet Sense every third Saturday. We have an adoption event there from 10 until 2.
All right.
So if some other organization wanted to host us, we'd be happy to do it with them too.
Well, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. That sounds like a lot of fun. A monthly event someplace that must get a lot of animals adopted and out and about. Because you forget, like, no, and I should go down there. I should go down there, and you don't, and then you're out and about, like, oh, perfect.
Right.
I'll take this one home.
We'd like to get them out in the community. In fact, we're going to do the St. Patrick's Day parade up in Sedona
Wonderful.
on the 11th too. We're hoping to take 10 dogs for that. So.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Another way that I found online when I went to the Verde Valley Humane Society.org is that we can support you by shopping on Amazon through Amazon Smile.
That's correct. And Fry's has the same deal. You get
Really?
get some credits if you shop through Fry's.
Really? Well, that's really good to know. And then I also noticed on your website, Operation Cold Nose Warm Toes. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I could if I knew what it was.
Well, what you're doing right now is the object is to get these special beds, the Kuranda beds,
Oh, okay.
for each animal,
All
so
right.
they're not sleeping on the floor,
Absolutely.
which is so sweet. Now these beds, they cost just under $100 a piece, basically, and you're working your way towards having a bed for every animal.
Right, and they all do have beds. Some of them come in and try to rearrange their bed by chewing it apart.
Oh,
So we do go through them, so there's a constant need to replenish them and everything too, so they all have a bed. But they're all up off the ground. They have in the wintertime we have blankets and things for
Yeah.
them so they can nest or do whatever they want to do with the blankets. And
Sweet.
so,
That's
yeah,
sweet.
I'm sorry I didn't know it by name.
Oh, no worries, no worries. It's Operation Make the Dog Comfortable and Warm, which I
Right.
think is so sweet that you went that far as to think about, let's get each dog a $100 bed. I mean, come on, wow, I don't even know if my kid has a $100 bed, let alone my dog. But that's absolutely amazing. Do you take donations of supplies, or if
Yeah,
someone
yes,
wants to?
absolutely. We always take, supply donations, and a lot of times we have to be a little bit cautious with what we feed the animals. If you start changing their diets all the time, their body doesn't adjust to it all the
Right,
time. So
yeah.
even if we don't use it ourselves, we make that available to people in the community that can't afford the dog food or cat food for their animals.
Wow.
And so we will give it out to the people that need that. And
Wow.
so,
What a great service. You're really very well rounded. You're serving the animals of the Verde Valley and the people who are the animal owners of the Verde Valley, and you taking the time to walk and train and bathe and play and get Krista out and about on TV. I mean, you're an amazing, amazing person. Thank you, Jay, for what you're doing
well, thank
for the
you.
Verde Valley Humane Society. Check out verdevalleyhumanesociety.org. Great website, lots of information there. You guys are open Monday through Saturday from 10 to 5.
That's correct.
If you want to check out the pets, it's a great thing to do. Go ahead and adopt it. If you can't adopt, foster. That's always a good one.
And we do have fosters too.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Jay. Jay Murphy from the Verde Valley Humane Society, one of their wonderful volunteers. And we'll be right back, so don't go away.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean,
I'm waiting for the ring cycle.
separate, cook, and chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tight.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. We're now here with Chris Jensen and Bob Rockroth, who are board members from the Verde River Valley Nature Organization. The VRVNO is here because it is time very soon for the Verde River Runoff, which is great fun every year, amazingly popular. This is, how many is this now?
This is the 5th.
5th, which is fantastic, Bob.
Yeah, it's a great event. It came in on the heels of one that was run by NAU called the Verde River Canoe Challenge, and it's gotten better and better. We have great prizes for the winners, but it's also a good time for the folks who just want to get out and enjoy the river.
Oh yeah, I mean, who'd have thunk boating in the desert? I mean,
it's a great activity. Once you get started, you're kind of hooked.
yeah, I can imagine, especially if you're from someplace like me from Florida, you need some water and you want to go boating. This is an amazing event. Tell us how this works. So do we need to sign up, obviously?
Correct. And you can sign up until Saturday
Okay.
at midnight.
Okay.
And there's 2 fees. One, if you go in, if everyone knows where White Bridge is in Camp Verde, if you're going to go from there to Beasley, which is roughly 10 miles downriver, that's a $50 fee. And if you sign up to go from Clear Creek, which is 5 miles down Salt Mine Road, that's a $25 fee. And both people come out at Beasley Flat.
All right. That's good. So you can choose the short or the long run.
Right.
The long run has the bigger prizes.
Ah,
That's the real race.
right. So it is a race that the best time wins. Is that correct?
Obviously.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
but we do have different categories. We have kayaks run in a separate category, for example, than canoes.
Sure.
Some of the categories are split men and women, but definitely not all.
Right, that's true. Now, how are the stand-up paddleboarders going to do this year with the amount of water we've got going?
I think that's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun.
Those guys can move really quickly.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, their times last year were really much better than I thought we were going to.
I bet. It's really going to be surfing this year.
Yeah.
We'll be surfing the Verde.
Here's hoping. Yeah.
Yeah, we should
ramp
have
up
a
the
lot of
fun.
water this year.
Oh my gosh, with all the snow melt that we're having, we should have a lot of water for sure. Now, the race itself is happening on March 18th. What are the
Correct.
times, Chris?
Well, the boaters should arrive between 7, 8, 9 so they can get all their, all their numbers and get everything and ready down by the put-in area. And then the actual start time would be 10 o'clock, and it'll be started with the more experienced, faster boaters going first, and then it'll come out in waves.
Ah, so kind of like different heats.
Right.
Based on your abilities.
That's correct.
Well,
Oh,
it
that's
makes
very
sense.
Depending on what kind of boat you're in.
Ah, what kind of boat you're in.
Yeah.
Okay.
It kind of makes sense because you don't want the slower boaters getting run over by the
Yeah.
speedsters.
Right, yeah, for sure. I've been there, both ends. Now, how is it? Which do you prefer, Bob? Kayaking, canoeing? What's your flavor? Of this?
Oh, I like them both.
Yeah.
And I like rafting in the bigger boats where you row the raft on
Right.
bigger rivers. Yeah, I've been doing this ever since I was old enough to try it.
Right.
When in my early adult years I got involved with it, and it's been a lifestyle for me.
Oh, absolutely. And I love it. You're very much dressed for it.
Oh, yeah.
You've got your waterproof sandals on and your wool socks.
That's correct.
This
yeah.
time of year, very important. And of course, a life jacket with a whistle.
Right.
Got to have it.
Yeah, if you're in the water and you yell help and it's a rushing
forget it.
river, no one's going to hear you. But a whistle will penetrate.
Absolutely.
I can't emphasize enough how you want to be prepared for getting cold. Even if it feels like it's a warm day, right now the river's running about 45 degrees. And the rule of thumb is if the combined water and air temperature is less than 120, so if it's 45 now, the air temperature would have to be 75 or better before you would want to have something protective, things to protect you from getting cold.
Wow.
So a day like this, I'm going to definitely wear a wool top. This is polyester, things that don't hold moisture.
Right.
You don't want to wear killer cotton.
No, it's a sink. You become a sinker instead
Yeah,
of a
well,
floater.
you become a shiverer for
Yeah,
sure.
that's true too.
When then your ability to think clearly gets
Yeah.
impaired once you get too
Gets
cold. It's very
impaired.
dangerous.
Yeah, that's true. Now, Chris, how is the different stretches of the river classified? Are we looking at ones? Are we looking at twos?
Well, below Beasley, there's some class 3 and 4 rapids.
Wow.
Above Beasley, they're usually class 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But
This race ends
Yeah.
at Beasley, so
Right.
it's
Sure.
class 1
so they
and
don't need to
2.
worry about class 3 rapids. But
Okay.
even at that rate, you should always be prepared because sometimes you can go down and you get stuck on a rock and it twists you around and it dumps you out of the boat. You should always be, have the correct equipment
Right.
on.
Well, that's the fun part, right? I mean, what fun would it be if you just stayed in your boat and you floated down and, oh, everything was great. Oh, you got to get wet. You got to fall out. You got to have a little something going on.
Well, you have more stories
Yeah,
that way, that's
yeah.
for sure.
I know. It's all
Yeah.
about the stories.
If you never fell out of your boat, you wouldn't have war stories.
That's
you know.
true.
There's
Yeah.
there's two kinds of boaters, those who've fallen out and those who will.
Yeah. Right.
No, it's just, the thing is, all boaters are just between swims.
Oh, is that it?
That's
Just temporarily dry?
Something like that, yeah.
That's great. Now, I know that it's also running about the same time as the Spring Pecan and Wine Fest. You guys are the
Right.
first part of that event, is that correct?
Yeah, in a
It's
way.
like you open
Yeah.
the day,
We
so to
started.
speak.
Yeah.
So that's a wonderful thing.
But we're
And-
kind of hooked to it because the award presentation takes place at the the Wine and Pecan Festival.
Excellent, excellent. So you get dumped in the river, which is 44 degrees. Did you catch that? 44 degrees. Then you're going to want to do some wine tasting, have a little food, and do some dancing because it'll warm yourself back up.
That's right.
Now, the money that's raised by the entry fee for this race, is that go to support the Verde River Valley Nature Organization?
Absolutely, yeah. And it allows us to also put on some other events, things like workshops in safe river recreation, in other words, intro to kayaking, also things about the habitat and what's to experience here along the Verde River, also birding workshops. And these are things that don't necessarily pay for themselves, but an event like this can help support some of our other events.
Right, that is absolutely true. In your conservation efforts to maintain our threatened areas of the Verde River, thank you.
Oh, that's a
amazing.
pleasure. Most of us are in it. I have a saying, I work for the river, and that's kind of...
Yeah, they doubled my
Beautiful.
salary this year, but
Yeah?
I haven't
got a
seen
raise?
I haven't seen much effect in, well, you know, 2 times 0.
You went right. You went from nothing to more nothing. I love the volunteerism in the Verde Valley. We have just the most amazingly wonderful people here willing to volunteer their time and their efforts, and you gentlemen are no different. And this event is awesome. Really, boating in the desert is just the best thing.
hard to
Have
beat.
More fun
Yeah.
than you can manage. So if you're interested, it's very easy. Go to vrno.org. Very simple, Vervno. That's a nice, easy website. Check that out. Is that the place to go to register?
That's correct.
Right.
That's
Yes.
got all the information on start times, fees, distances,
Yeah.
all that good stuff. Excellent. So check that out. vrno.org.
And if you just want to see some boats and some action, just come down to White Bridge Saturday morning around
Saturday the
8, 9.
18th.
Saturday the 18th.
Saturday 18th. Yeah.
Yep, Saturday 18th, about 9:30. Come down, make yourself a space. Or get ready for it to start
You
at
can
10.
get to see what's happening.
See the chaos.
Nice view from up on the bridge. We start
It's
right under the
wonderful.
bridge.
Excellent. Oh, that's great fun. I know the weather will be great, and the water's going to be running like crazy. So check it out. Thank you, Phyllis. We'll be right
Thank
back,
you.
so don't go
Thank
away.
you.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
This new dad is picturing a tree house in the sky, but he's ignoring the instructions. Good luck, big guy. His kids know that he's building without a clue. Never been so good with nails and glue. Now we're trapped inside a box. I hope mom knows what to do. Mom! See, you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. We are now here with Nikki Miller, who is from the Camp Verde Promotions, talking about the Spring Heritage Pecan and Wine Festival, one of the most awesome festivals in the Verde.
Of course it is.
Because it has wine.
It does have
And
wine.
I love pecans.
And we've added last year. We decided because just because the wife drinks wine doesn't mean that the husband doesn't want a beer. So we brought the beer garden in, and so they'll be back. So there'll be beer also at this event. So
Excellent.
Everybody should be happy.
That's great.
Yes.
All right. So let's get it out of the way. Let's answer the question: pecan or pecan or pecan or.
Well, I say pecan, but
Pecan.
I'm from Arizona, so
Okay.
you know it's.
There we go. That's what I thought. All right, we're setting the record straight. Here in Arizona, we say pecan. Okay, so the Pecan Festival. Yeah, I can't even say it right the second time. So tell us, it's how many years is this now?
Well, for Camp Verde Promotion to do this was our 4th year.
All right.
And they had one prior to that, but we were not involved in it. So this is our 4th year.
There you go.
Last year we had some excitement on Sunday when we had a twister come through and take out some of my vendors. So I mean, it's just like, let's see what we can have happen this year.
Go.
You know, there was always suspense somewhere.
That's true. Well, you've been there, done that. So no twisters this year.
No twisters this year. That would be good. So we have 14 of the local vineyards that will be there, and then of course we've got close to 50 vendors that will be on the field and in the tent and stuff like that. We'll have live music, and the archaeological fair is going on in the gym, so that will be going on at the same time, plus the river runoff that you just had them on. And then the fort will be doing their thing too. They'll have 3 vintage baseball games going on Saturday, which that always is fun to watch. And then they're going to have an ancient Indian technology display that one of the men that works there now has been collecting this stuff, and so he's going to make presentations through the day for that.
My
so
gosh.
that'll be really cool.
So you've got your intellectual, your athletic, and your wino.
And your wino. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And bureau. All combined together in one awesome event.
Well, and then the Questers, which is a nonprofit group that supports the Hands House, which is part of the fort area, they will be selling their homemade pies and pickles, and so that's another thing that's going on. So we will have pecan vendors that will have selling fresh pecans, and that we are opening it up to anybody that wants to sell pecans. So I may have pecans at my booth too, because I have many trees at my house. So
it's wonderful.
It is.
I eat them every day, so I'm there. I'm going to have like 2 duffel bags full of pecans. I'm stored up for, this will last me 4 months.
It would be nice if they were easier to crack, but they are a little bit of a problem.
See, that's what you're paying for, the work of having someone crack them open, pick through them, so that you get the best of the best and don't get cut up fingers. Is that why your fingers are all cut up?
Yeah, that is one
That's
of
why you're wearing Band-Aids. You've been cracking pecans.
Yeah, those nutcrackers are dangerous.
Oh my gosh. So the festival is March 18th and 19th. From when to when?
It starts at 10 o'clock on the 18th and goes till 6, and from 10 o'clock until 5 on Sunday.
Excellent, excellent. And you mentioned live music?
Yes, there will be live music. I don't know the time zones, but Cheap Sunglasses will be there, Skunky Ron will be there, so we'll have some popular music. Those people are really fun people to have perform for us. So
that's great.
Then we're going to do some, one of the things that they had done in the past is they have a pecan launch.
Oh.
Where you've got a little pecan catapult. And so the kids come and put the pecan in this little catapult and shoot pecans at people. I mean, we hope they don't shoot them at people, but people are always walking in front of them.
Are these shelled or unshelled?
These are unshelled.
Uh-oh, look out. It's worse than a paintball.
Really? Yeah. But then we're gonna add some new things this year as far as trying to get people to figure out how many pecans are in a pound of certain sizes, and just have ongoing contests so that people can say, well, I think there are 16 of these in that. You know, I picked up a bucket of pecans this weekend, and I swear there had to be 2,000 pecans in that.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa, I don't want to have to count all those pecans, but I really think that there are a lot more pecans in stuff than you really realize how many there are.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, we're going to do some fun things, and then we have another, we're going to have make things out of pecans. So we've got somebody coming in, and we're going to see if you can make something creative, maybe a dog or you know, something like that. So we're going to have that going on Saturday.
Pecan art.
Pecan art, that's what it's going to be.
Got to
try something new.
That's great. All kinds of activities. So it's for the whole family, obviously, and it has free admission, which is fantastic. So if you want to build a pecan dog or launch pecans or wander around and shop at the vendors or listen to the music. However, the wine tastings require tickets. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, when you come in, you can still come into the wine tent and see the vendors, because there's going to be a chocolate vendor and a cheese vendor, and there's a jewelry vendor and a bread vendor and an apple vendor, and so there's vendors in there that you can still see and not have to pay. The only time you need to pay is when you want to taste the wine, and then there'll be a $15 charge for that, and then you'll get, I believe it's 6 tickets, and then you get to go to whatever venue you want to taste, and then if you want more, you can purchase more.
6 tickets for $15. You can't even get a glass of wine for $15.
No, that's true.
And yet you can have 6 tastes, which is amazing. And of course, kudos to all of our wineries.
Oh yeah.
And do you have a list of who's coming?
I do, but I don't have it with me, and I can't remember all of them. So
the good ones.
The good ones, of course.
Yeah.
And then we have the olive oil lady that comes from Phoenix. That she's always been there, and she's really enjoys that. And she has some really interesting olive oils, so that's fun.
Those always inspire me to cook more. You know, of course, anytime I go to any sort of market and buy something fresh and local, I want to cook more. Makes me want to cook more. And then, so yeah, lots of pecan pies are going to be happening here very shortly.
Right, pecan pies, and we also are going to have a pecan pie contest.
Oh.
So they will be on Sunday. We will have people bring pecans, and the pie will be judged. So there will be a judging on pecan pie. So if you want to bake a pecan pie, come on down, give us a call at our Camp Verde Promotions, and we'll give you the information about that. So
well, there you go.
It'll be interesting. We have had sometimes 2 or 3, and other times 15 or 16, and I'm glad I'm not a judge when there are that many pecan pies.
I'd be going, yeah, I'll judge
you
that.
Judge?
Oh my God, pecan pie is one of my
favorites.
Okay,
we'll give you a call.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. Check out campverdepromotions.org. Lots of information there, of course. You've got the list of what's happening. You've got any questions, and of course, there's a phone number if you want to call and say, hey, what do I do with my pie? What time do I show up? And when's this happening? Or
the other thing that we are also doing on Saturday from 12 to 6 is we will have a shuttle. The shuttle will be from the Alco Bashes area down to the field. With the River Run people and all the other things that are going on, Saturday will be a heavy traffic day, so we're going to have a shuttle so that people can get back and forth and not have to try to figure out where to park and stuff. So
and the shuttle will pick up where again?
At the Bashes parking lot in front of the old Alco building.
Right, sure. Do you still have vendor space available?
We do have vendor space available, and they can get in until the 8th. We need that 10 days to get prepared for them, so they can we've changed our registration a little bit. They can do it online this time, so this is a new experience for all of us, trying to figure out who's smarter, the computer or us. And so far, I think the computer's smarter than
the computer
I am.
wins every time at my house. Absolutely.
So anyway, they can continue to register, and if they've got questions, they can give us a call. And space there is limited space now, but we still do have some areas that we can put
very
vendors.
good. Very good. Yeah, we're looking at like 60 plus, right?
We're hoping.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Come and support the local Verde Valley.
And I don't know if Bob indicated when he was in here about the awards program. Did he say anything about the awards?
He briefly mentioned it.
Okay, so they will be presenting their awards between 3 and 4 probably, which is kind of fun to hear the people's times and how how long it took these people to get down. And some people whip through it really fast, and other people it takes a long time. So that's kind of an interesting concept.
Yeah, for sure, the award ceremony. And I love that you can boat in the morning, get cold and wet, you can come have wine, and Sunday maybe purchase a pecan pie or two. The judges will be like, help.
The judge said, you want to judge a pie?
It's a slight eating. It's only eaten out of this one part, That's wonderful with all the vendors. It's almost like a farmer's market, a craft fair, a goodie treasure trove of all things fun. And you have wine and beer and music.
That's right. And food. Of course, the food vendors are there. So that'll be barbecue, and it'll be good.
And free admission. Did we mention free admission? There's free admission for this.
And it's just a lot of fun. It's nice because you get to meet some really neat people.
Yeah.
The vendors that I've been experienced with have always been very pleasant to be around, and they enjoy what they do. So it makes it fun to go talk to them and see where they're from, because they're not all local. We have people come from out of state, and so it's just kind of a fun thing.
Oh, great. All right, March 18th and 19th from 10 until 6. Check out campverdepromotions.org for more information. We'll be right back.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work. Show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up 1 finger if you're a man. Women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60. 2 over 50. 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now. So 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next. Find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. That's why we're here. We're free and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Picking a college, man. You and us. Go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos. Go to GetSchooled.com.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. I'm now standing here with Mr. Gary Covert, who is the Vice President of the Arizona Flywheelers Club, which is a wonderful club that is working for the education of all of us young people who don't know things about antique engines. Thank you for what you're doing.
Well, we love doing it, and we really enjoy it, and we're going to have a show March 17th and 18th at the Verde Valley Fairgrounds, and we'll have engines like this displayed here, and then we'll have tractor pulling, and we got models. There'll be vendors there for arts and crafts, and just a lot of things going on.
Oh, and it's a great fun day for the whole family. The kids get involved. You've got the kids out there shucking corn and using the corn sheller and then pumping the water. And it's just so interesting because nowadays we don't do stuff like that. Everything comes in packages and boxes.
Right.
But, you know, 100 years ago, people actually did stuff by hand. And it's amazing to see examples of the different machinery, be it gasoline or diesel or steam powered, all kinds of different engines that you guys work on.
Yep. Well, we really appreciate people coming out because we love doing it, but it doesn't do us much fun after we get it fixed and running. We like to show it somebody. So
of course.
That's why it's great to have these shows and people come out.
Absolutely. So
We
the
really
Arizona
encourage
Flywheeler
everybody.
Show. Yep, that's happening on March 17th and 18th at the Verde Valley Fairgrounds.
From 9 to 4 p.m. each day.
Yep, great. And the tractor pulls is definitely one of my favorite. I do
Tractor
like the
pulls,
tractor pulls. That's a lot of fun. And of course, bringing the kids and having them work all the different machinery is great. What's your favorite type of machine? Do you like the hand powered, the gas powered, the steam?
Well, I'm an old farmer, so I like tractors the best, but I
there
really
you go.
get a kick out of my engines and stuff too. So it's just whatever runs and pops and bangs. Well, that's what's fun.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I'm not into hand stuff too much.
No, too much work.
I did that when I was a kid. But,
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. You were saying you remember actually shelling the corn
But,
when you had to do it for the
and
chickens.
the people are great, just a great bunch of people, and just a real good group to be part of.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's a great group. Do you know how long you guys have been together?
Yeah, we're in our 33rd annual show this year.
Yes.
And like you can be a member, and you don't have to have engines or tractors. You just be a member if you're interested in this type of stuff. And,
absolutely.
And there's always something going on. So we've got several members that don't have any themselves, but they enjoy working with us, and it really works out.
And they can join you for breakfast every first Wednesday at Denny's in Cottonwood.
Yes, yes.
That's got to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
Having breakfast with all you guys?
Yep.
Talking engines?
Yep. And
Hey, he's an important guy. You know, he's the show manager,
Is that
so it's
good?
very, very important that you're able to get a hold of it all. Somebody must have an engine question.
No, I don't think so.
No, you must be the guy to come to, though. Do the
well,
members come to you
one
when
of
it
several.
comes
There's
time?
several of us that can answer the questions.
Yeah.
So far.
That's a good group of guys. Got lots, and you smell a bit like diesel and gasoline. I like
Well,
that.
thank you.
It's like my favorite smell.
I think.
It's like the best cologne there is for me personally, as a motorhead. Diesel and engine fumes are great.
Okay, you can't beat it. No.
No, you can't beat it. Make sure you get to the 33rd
33rd.
annual Arizona Flywheelers Show that is happening over here in Cottonwood at the fairgrounds on March 17th and 18th. Check out ArizonaFlywheelers.com. Lots of information for you. And now we're going to have our wonderful Jack Castamore who's going to show us how to use some of these engines and how they're working. So let's get Jack on over here. All right, Jack, thank you, sir, for joining us and doing the wonderful demonstrations that we're going to have now. Of course, we have to start with this big beauty here, the John Deere, the gorgeous green and yellow. We know these when we see these at the fair. What can you tell us about this particular
This one happens to be a 1948 John Deere Model B. What is cool about this, in 1947, you had to manually start them.
All right.
Like an old crank. But I couldn't do that, so I decided I had to have one with a starter button. And as you can see over the wheel, this has a starter button, just like back in 1948 in the cars and trucks. And they had one that you pushed your foot on the starter, and that started it up. And what's nice about this is it's beautifully restored, and every time it fires up, it runs as if it was brand new.
Nice.
The nice thing about these is here in Arizona, you can buy one of these completely restored for less money than the riding tractor to cut your lawn with.
Wow. We live in the right place.
Yes, it's really neat. And of course, there's lots of people like Gary who've actually used these on a farm.
Right.
I just drive it to parades.
Yes, I've seen you in many parades
Yeah,
on this.
yes,
She's a beauty. This is one of my favorites. I hadn't seen this
yeah,
one before.
Gary got this. It was a bunch of just old junk. And with the help of Eugene DeCamp, we completely restored it, powder coated the metal so it would survive. And a gentleman by the name of Don came by with lemon that he squeezed onto a sponge. He wiped the old rotted wood, and he could see what it said. So he was able to restore the lettering. But this is from 1874, and it's how you did corn before there was electricity.
Too neat.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Much better than using those little hand scrapers.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Ugh.
And Troy will demonstrate this in a moment.
Excellent.
Over here we have a over 90-year-old generator set. What's unique about this is farms and ranches did not have electricity 100 years ago or 90 years ago or 80 years ago. So if you were extremely fortunate, you'd have a generator set like this one. What's unique is what we have here, and somehow they have survived, are the original glass batteries. Because before we had rubber and all those plastic, things were done in glass.
Right.
And this is extremely rare. I had never seen one before. Only people who were much, much older than me have told me that they had seen them when they were younger.
Well, you wouldn't think they'd survive being glass.
What's neat about this is 2 turns and it's running. It's running.
Beautiful.
Gary,
Supplying electricity to your farm, right here.
I've got the mic on.
What's this?
The club is raffling this unit.
Really?
It's an old Cub, and it's hooked up to a automatic drill press. And as it runs, the drill press not only turns, but goes down to cut. So you can walk away and work on another project while it's drilling your steel. Did I tell that right, Gary?
Yes.
And this is a raffle prize. So if people want to come and buy dollar a ticket?
$1 a ticket.
Yeah.
6 for $5. Just what you need in your garage collection. How cool is that?
It is cool. It really is.
Everybody needs a drill press, but nobody has a fancy one like this. This is great.
Yeah.
Wow, I know. I can't wait for the show, March 17th and 18th at the Cottonwood Fairgrounds. It's going to be way too much fun. You're going to be there both days, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. We're there with all kinds of goodies.
With a big
Because we love to
child
see the
grin.
children come.
Yeah.
You know, the children just make these events.
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely. Now, we've got gasoline. Do we have diesel?
No,
Gasoline?
That's gasoline also.
Hand-powered?
Yep.
More
And this
gasoline?
originally, I'm going to move around a little bit. This originally has a little element here. Okay, you would have poured gasoline into that to get this head warmed, and it actually ran originally on kerosene. Wow. Because back then in 1924, kerosene was only 8 cents a gallon. So as a farmer or a rancher, that's what you could afford. So you would get it started on a little bit of gas, and then you would turn that valve, and it would go to kerosene. And you know, life has changed so much. It's kind of really neat to see this old stuff and actually have it running, so where you can see it running.
That's great. Thank you for what you're
My
doing
pleasure.
and for the Arizona Flywheelers Association Club. Gosh, you've got to check these guys out, ArizonaFlywheelers.com. Great website. All the information that you need about any show that's going on in the area associated with the antique engines and farm equipment. Check out the show that's happening, the 33rd annual Arizona Flywheelers Show that's happening at the Cottonwood Fairgrounds on March 17th and 18th. Make sure you check it out. Jack, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for coming.
We'll be right back, so don't go away.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
This is a new song called Smile. You don't have to impress me, don't have to second guess me. All you gotta do is smile. Now you don't have to wear fancy clothes, don't have to be the one who knows. All you gotta do is smile. 'Cause your smile takes me away from the troubles of the day, sends my heart into ecstasy, where rainbows paint the sky and angels fly on by, singing sweet love songs to me. It's what you do to me. It's what you do to me. Now you don't have to change a thing, nothing to the table you need to bring. All you gotta do is smile. Now you don't have to be the best, don't even have to be a success. All you gotta do is smile. 'Cause your smile takes me away from the troubles of the day, sends my heart into ecstasy, where rainbows paint the sky and angels fly on by, singing sweet love songs to me. It's what you do to me. It's what you do to me. Now you don't have to wear fancy clothes, don't have to be the one who knows. All you gotta do is smile. 'Cause your smile takes me away from the troubles of the day, sends my heart into ecstasy, where rainbows paint the sky and angels fly on by, singing sweet love songs to me. It's what you do to me. It's what you do to me.
That was wonderful.
Thank you.
Tim French, everyone, singing an original tune fresh off the press.
Fresh off the press.
Barely completed. We get to hear it first here. That's just amazing.
Well, I might have played it a couple places.
We did your best. That's great. I love that you write music. I am in awe of anyone who can write music, But you also write poetry as well, is that correct?
I do. I'm trying to put a book together. I've been writing since I was a kid, but I haven't gotten that. I've been working in real estate for a while, so I haven't quite got around to it.
Sure, you've been busy.
Been busy,
Making
exactly.
money, you
Yeah,
know.
making
That
money.
does
This
get
is
in the
my
way.
love. That's where I
Yeah,
make my money.
Right, yeah, you've got to eat.
Pretty
Now
much.
you just have to work on combining the love with
I
the money.
know, I know.
Get your book together.
Exactly.
All that stuff. And we see you all the time out at Vino de Sedona.
Yep.
What day do you play there? You
I
have
play
an
the
open
last
jam.
Sunday of every month, and I usually invite a few friends to play with me. So it's kind of really nice, and especially in the summer, you sit outside, and it's just really, really great.
Yeah,
I enjoy it there.
absolutely. Music in the fresh
Yeah.
air is always really, really wonderful. And you have an amazing event coming up on March 25th with Meals on Wheels. Tell us a little bit about how that's going to go on.
Well, yeah, well, actually, where I work at Sotheby's, they had a thing where we followed Meals on Wheels around, and as I was following it around, I told my wife I started crying. It was like, because my parents have passed away, and just kind of serving the community in that way, and the people were so sweet. One lady goes, I thank you so much, for doing this. I thank everybody that serves me. And I said, my grandmother used to say, you tell everybody you love them every time you see them, you never have to worry about it. So I told her I loved her, and she thanked me, and it was just from then on I started doing it. So now I'm giving back to them by doing a concert for them.
You are.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And that's March 25th at the Sedona Hub.
Yes, the Sedona Hub. And I also, one of the ladies that works, their husband has a program, Yavapai Food Neighbors Project, and they'll also be there. So it should be nice.
Wonderful. So you're raising money just to support those two
Yes,
organizations.
yes. All the money that's going to go for the concert will go for that.
Well, that's
so.
great. How do we get tickets for that concert?
Actually, you can look up on the hub for the city. Actually, the city is providing this program, which is really great. Musicians have been doing monthly things there, but I decided to use my spot for the, kind of a concert for giving back to the community.
Wonderful. How long have you lived in Sedona now?
Well, I moved here in '69, moved away, altogether probably about 25 years. My wife and I have been back for about 20 now.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really, I can see why giving back to the community is so important.
Yeah, and it's such a great place.
Yeah,
people have such good hearts here.
Yep, for sure. So you keep busy. You play at least once a month. Do you play anywhere else?
I have in the past, but lately, especially when coming up, this is our season in real estate, so I've been really busy. But probably in the summer, as it starts to heat up and people are less traveling here, I'll do some more gigs out. But
you play at your open houses?
I do. I play at the open houses. My wife bakes all the food for them.
You're kidding?
No.
See, I thought I was being funny. You
No,
actually
I
play.
actually do. My wife
brilliant.
does all the food for our open houses on our listings, and I do the music while
my
people
gosh.
eat, and that way they stick around and take a look at the place a little bit longer.
I got to have you be my realtor.
That would be great. That'd be great.
That's me. What service? Oh my gosh. Well, you can check you out on Facebook, but you got to go to James French. On Facebook.
James French.
Yes,
Yep.
it's got to be very, very professional.
Most people call me Jim, but on my Facebook page
Your
is
Facebook
James.
page, you're James. Yes, that makes you distinguished. Now, you've been writing music and playing music for a very long time.
Yes, I actually quit for 25 years, but I bought the guitar in '76 or '75. And then I
Used,
actually
right?
sold it. Yeah, I sold it and then bought it back.
Get out.
And then I quit music for about 25 years, and then I started back in 2010. I've been playing for about 7 years now.
Wow.
So
Good for you getting back into it.
yeah, it's been really nice. Thank you.
I know. And then you must have more original tunes that you're turning out.
I do. I'm trying to put a second album together. I have a little short album of 5 songs, but hopefully by the time the concert runs around, I'll have another CD. We'll see.
That'll be great.
Yeah,
We look
working on
forward to that. Now, the next song you're going to play, is it another original?
Yes, this is original, and it's kind of about people that give to people that are in need, whether it's a mother giving to her son, or a wife giving to her husband, vice versa, or even just God giving to somebody through prayer. It's called My Love.
Oh, wonderful.
So it should be.
You're such a humanitarian.
Thank you.
I had
thank
no
you.
idea. That's just wonderful. A
Thanks.
musical humanitarian who also happens to be a realtor.
It happens to be a realtor, the singing realtor.
That's great.
I should say the singing and baking realtor,
Well,
because my wife's a
there you
baker.
go. Arm in arm. That'd be
Yeah.
cute. That'd be cute. Way too cute. Thank you so much for being on the show again.
My pleasure.
Really,
my pleasure.
really appreciate it.
Well, I'm glad you invited me again. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, it is a pleasure to have you. And make sure you check out the Sedona Hub's website for the event that's happening on March 25th. That's going to be benefiting the Meals on Wheels and the Yavapai Food Neighbors Council
Project.
Project.
Yeah, I had a hard time with it myself.
Those long titles. But check that out. Of course, that's just great. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you
really
so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you all very much for watching the show. If you'd like to see it again, VerdeValleyTV.com anytime. Also on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook. Like us. I post all kinds of weird pictures. I'll be scrounging up some interesting pictures of you.
I probably have some weird pictures out there too.
I'll be posting those, so make sure you check it out. And we'll see you next time.
Excellent. Thank you. My love, I just want to say there's so much I'm thankful for every single day. For your love fills my heart and warms my soul. It's nice to have someone that you can depend on when the sky turns gray. Someone you call your friend, always there to the very end, loving, guiding you all the way, oh, all the way. Sometimes the night gets cold. Out of the darkness you take hold of me, and you keep me warm. It's nice to have someone that you can depend on when the sky turns gray. Someone you call your friend, always there to the very end, loving, guiding you all the way, oh, all the way. Every time my light started to go out, you shared your light with me. Then I had no doubt I wasn't alone. You were always by my side. It's nice to have someone that you can depend on when the sky turns gray. Someone you call your friend, always there to the very end, loving, guiding you all the way, oh, all the way. The sun is now shining bright. Out of the darkness we came into the light. Oh, together we made it through. I love you, I love you, I love you.